And let's talk about Whoopi Goldberg, who addressed being in the Epstein files over there on The View today. First of all, they had Savannah Chrisley on the show. I'm like, y'all that thirsty for ratings? Like, y'all can't find no real conservative voices instead of giving clowns like her a platform, and her parents are a bunch of damn white-collar criminals. So y'all can't be up here and talk about how much Trump is a damn criminal when you invited the children of one on your damn show. But I digress. So she's strongly defending herself after her name was revealed to be in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Now, she said that she did not have any form of relationship and said I wasn't his friend. So the Views claim, well, she basically claimed she is getting dragged by critics because her name is mentioned in Jeffrey Epstein emails. So she decided to clear the air during today's broadcast, which is Tuesday, February 17th. And so I do have the clip, which I found over there on Twitter. And it's funny how, like, she's saying critics. No, you mean conservative critics. So those at Fox News and News Now and all these other conservative sites, they're going to automatically try to do a lot of deflection so that way they can justify, I guess, Trump's name being mentioned in the Epstein files over 1 million times. So I almost forgot how to bring up videos. So we have the clip. We're going to roll the clip. And then we will come back and talk. Please hold.
Now, in the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes. And what does it say? It says, Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2? Okay.
And it looks like they said, no thanks.
Yeah. So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because I'm telling you, when I tell you people are trying to turn me into, I wasn't his girlfriend. I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not, you used to have facts before you said stuff.
But Trump is on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't speak to him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged.
Okay, this is corporate media shit. Not with Whoopi, but with Joy. It wasn't 38,000. It was over 1 million. That's the unredacted files. It was 1 million times. They need to update the information. But anyway, I just want to point that out. Let's get back to the video.
I actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on. Yeah. Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Inquirer wrote it about it. Yeah. People wrote about this stuff. So no, I never had this, and no, I didn't get on the plane because you know what I would have to do to get on the plane? Fly. They were trying to,
and she doesn't fly.
No, so they're trying to get me. Babe. They're trying to get me to get on a plane to get to this thing for Julian Lennon.
Yeah, but the thing is, they dropped like 300 names.
Yes.
And it's like flood the zone because when you're looking, there are people like Marilyn Monroe who was dead.
Elvis.
Yeah, a lot of people, because a lot of the reasons your name can be mentioned are news articles, third-party emails, contacts. Again, wealthy, famous people often cross in professional and social circles. So that's not the surprising part.
So Whoopi is correct in all of that. It's like, there are people who are mentioned in the files, and this is where we got to break it down, because a lot of people feel like, oh, a celebrity was mentioned in the files, they're guilty. And it's like, it depends on the situation. You can't paint everybody with a broad brush. When there are certain people that are mentioned in the files, they're mentioned in there because they're doing unconscionable things in there, which it is in those emails. Now, the only time you see something redacted was the actual email addresses. Everything else there is written clear as day. Now, I will say this. If Whoopi Goldberg was mentioned in the Epstein files, and they said that she was over here whoring out her daughter and passing her around to a bunch of rich elites so that way she can get roles in Hollywood, then that would be a different conversation. But that's not what was there. That's not what was presented. Y'all mentioned, oh, Whoopi's mentioned in the episode. Say she guilty. She did it. She just like them. And they got the nerve to talk about Trump. That's the overall attitude, because it's like y'all just look at the surface, but don't actually look beneath and do the research. And that's something that always irritates me, because I feel like even though I'm not a journalist, I do feel like I'm in a place where if I'm going to be on here spewing things and talking about certain conversations, you have to have all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed and all your facts before you come over here and give your opinion. So I'm going to come on and say that. And for me, looking at this thing, yeah, her name was mentioned, but if she didn't do nothing, no wrongdoing or whatever, if they can't bring that up in the conversation, then this is a non-factor. It's the same thing like when somebody came in my comment, messaged me and told me Madonna's in the files. And I already told y'all that story. The fact that, yeah, Madonna was mentioned in the files because there was a highly powerful publicist who emailed Jeffrey Epstein talking about, I'm going to Malawi, and do you want me to bring you back some, in so many words, I'm paraphrasing. So like I could bring you back some kids or whatever the case was. It could be sort of like Madonna with her kids or whatever, how, she adopted the children from Malawi. So she was kind of looking at it as more like trying to make it seem like Madonna's doing it as a trend. Whatever the case was, mention it in there to use it as an example to bring those type of kids back to America for Jeffrey Epstein to do God knows what with him. Word on the street was there was another video I saw that somebody he out here, he was eating people too. So you up in here a full on Hannibal Lecter? Maybe that's why Trump was so obsessed with Hannibal Lecter. Because remember, one time he would mention Hannibal Lecter in some of the conversations that he would have with his stupid rally speeches or whatever. Maybe that's where that came from. Maybe he was having a flashback to back in the day when he would hang out with Jeffrey Epstein and probably saw that he was up there making these people some 5-star cuisine or a 5-course meal, and he was going and letting have with these people. Who knows? But we don't, like I said at this point, we don't know how deep this rabbit hole goes in regarding to unpacking or looking into the Jeffrey Epstein files and doing a deep dive. Because I'm sure there's a lot of deep dives that's going on. And funny enough, y'all can redact and get rid of and delete as many of the files as you want. Shout out to all the people over in Europe who are not getting a foot off this man's neck. They're out here going through the files, they're revealing things, and they're holding foreign leaders accountable. So while y'all just sit up on your hands, Democrats and Republicans, and don't do nothing in regards of holding these rich people accountable for the things that they've done to the victims that are around and aren't around, and the children, shout out to the Europeans that are doing the job that y'all should be doing out here. So I just feel like this is just dumb, a waste of time. And then if y'all gonna put some stuff up in there, like I said before, y'all gotta come with the extra stuff. So it's like, yeah, your name can be mentioned in the files. What does that mean? It's not worth the price of tea in China. Now, if there was some stuff in the files where it was like revealed that you were doing God knows what to other people and causing harm to people, whether it's women, children, you were showing up at some fornication party and doing, some crazy shit to people, then that'd be a different conversation. But your name being mentioned, this is just a waste of time and energy. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Whoopi Goldberg addressing, her name being mentioned in the Epstein file? It's like I said, it's a nothing burger that these people are trying to do. You know how this current administration is. It's all a damn smoke screen. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.